and welcome to Immortal Behaviour this week.
Down the block, Andrew John, inside Ciraldo. Newcastle have won the grand final. And Manu's gone through.
He's so fast, he's a great athlete, good-looking rooster.
Here's Walker again, the man of the moment.
It's good to be the kid.
Oh, look at Andrew John, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest players of all time.
Well, welcome to another episode of Immortal Behaviour. Joey, have you calmed down a little bit since Origin?
Still raw.
Still raw.
I just wish I would have articulated a little bit better on the night, but I actually did it.
You did it really well last week here.
Yeah.
I think 126,000 views we had, so people wanted to hear what you had to say about it.
About 125,000 of those were hating me.
No,
Don't worry,
they weren't.
I was hating me too.
No, they weren't.
I
think you spoke very well about it. I think you explained where it was coming from.
Well, I settled down a little bit and I spoke. I think if you tell the truth and speak from the heart, then people can either agree or disagree, but they can respect what you think. So,
and a few breaths in between.
I got it out what I was thinking, so people understand. I wasn't just being a belligerent F-word, which looking back I was.
Anyway, all right, well, there has been some news this week with the Bulldogs. Of course, they're on the hunt for a new coach, and there was a meeting in Homebush at the locker room between Gus Gould, Cameron Ciraldo, George Mimas, and also one of the Bulldogs' major sponsors, Laundy as well.
Craig Laundy.
Craig Laundy. So what did you make of this secret meeting that was captured?
If you can have a secret meeting, don't have it in a pub. Well, the way the drums are beating is pretty much, it's all done by the sound of it. And I think it'd be a great club to coach at the moment. You know, the way they've been going, they've improved nearly every game. They've improved. I thought last week they really challenged South Sydney. So they're a club on the up and up. They're recruited well. Reid Marnie's there next year. Billy Army Kickow. So they're on the up and up, and I think it'd be a really good job to get. And Cameron Ciraldo, it's, everything's about timing in life, right place, right time.
What about Cameron Ciraldo? Because there is a lot of hype around him. He's one of the, the most sought after coaches at the moment. We know that the Tigers went for him, but he hasn't actually had that head coaching role just yet. Is the hype real, do you feel? Apparently
it is. Look, it's hard to... I've sort of met him a few times, Cameron, cracking bloke. But as you said, it's a lot different being everyone's mate to being the head coach when you've got to make the tough calls. But he's done a huge apprenticeship. He's been in a very successful club around great coaches. But the test will come when the pressure's on. But by all accounts, real level-headed sort of guy. So good luck to him.
How much would that help? Because he's obviously had that relationship with Gus Gould before at the Panthers. How much would that help having a strong figure like that in the club who you've worked with before?
Well, look, I've always found, I always think that in a footy club, the coach and the chief executive are the bosses. And you need dictators there. You don't need people having meetings about what we're going to do. You need the bosses just go, this is what we're doing, this is the way forward. We're all on the same page. So with Gus, you're going to have that, and with Cameron Ciraldo, you're going to have that. So them working together, they've already got a relationship, so I think it's a win-win.
Well, he has quite a good relationship with a lot of the Panthers players as well. They all love him. Do you think that there'd be any Panthers that he'd be trying to get across to the Bulldogs?
Well, just trying to think in certain positions. I don't think any of them in those key positions. You wouldn't imagine Nathan or Coruscant's going. He's going to the Tigers. Jerome Luai will stay there. Isaiah Yeo will stay there. No, not really. No. Look, I think someone like Spencer Leniu, I think he'd be a great buy. He's getting better and better, playing bigger minutes off the bench. I think he's an out-and-out top-line front rower eventually. Whether he goes for someone like Spencer, I don't know when he's off contract though.
Have you ever been spotted at a secret lunch that wasn't so secret?
I remember one time I had lunch with Ricky Stewart. I'd retired from rep footy, and he came up to Newcastle to have lunch. We both had the same manager, the late great John Fordham, and we're sitting there having a lunch at this quiet cafe, and I look over and there's a bloke there taking photos, and I look in the middle and Fordo's got his best side. Which I don't know if it was the best side. So I put 2 and 2 together and came up with John Fordham.
So was it like a newspaper?
It was a secret meeting to get me back to play 1 or 2 tests when Ricky became Australian coach, which I came back and won a couple of games. But yeah, it ended up on the back page, not the front page, which is good.
I reckon, wouldn't it be nerve-wracking going to one of these secret meetings?
Well, I'd never. Actually, the only secret meeting I had was with the ARU when I was contemplating going to rugby union with Eddie.
And how secret was it? Did they set it up so it was...
No, it was at John Fordham's house in Wallara.
Yeah, okay.
With Eddie Jones,
Yeah.
So me and myself, Fordo and Eddie Jones.
And so no one spotted you?
No.
Were you paranoid walking in?
Paranoid? I'm not paranoid. Who said that? Paranoid?
Were you looking around going, is there anyone around?
No, not really. No.
I reckon I'd be nervous going into...
It was 2004. Actually, it was 2004, so I'd been out all year with a knee.
Yeah.
So it was out of sight, out of mind. I don't think anyone cared.
Yeah.
But the Knights knew. And the Knights knew I was going down to talk to them. But that's the only ever time I ever spoke to anyone from another club. Spoke over the phone to someone from Brisbane at one stage, but I was never going to live in Newcastle. I think people realise that.
Because I know some people now do it, they hire out hotel rooms and they do for meetings.
Honestly, what a wank. What a wank.
Anyway, everyone has a camera nowadays. All right, well, let's talk about Joey Manu. Geez, he's been impressive. What do you think his best position is? Because we've seen him, obviously, centre.
Fullback 5'8", any of those two. He's just too good a player not to have around the ball. And look, the game evolves and changes all the time. And I think gone are the days of those sweeping out the back plays. You know, teams now are playing over the advantage line and the halves are on the advantage line going at it. And hopefully days are gone of the front row of bumbling and fumbling and playing it to the halfback. And to play that way, I've always liked to see a big running number 6, and that's what Joseph Manu is. He just runs, he's at you all the time. And at the Roosters, they have Verrills at a dummy half, they have Victor's ball playing a bit, but Sam Walker's doing most of it, and then Joey Manu and Teddy are just at you. It's just so hard to stop, so good to watch.
So they've got a bit of an issue, though, in the halves when Kiri comes back, because you've got Kiri, Sam Walker and Joey Manu. Too many halves. Some teams are looking for halves and the Roosters have too many.
It's a big decision for Trent Robinson to make, and I'm sure he is losing some sleep over it because Joseph Manu, the more touches he gets, in Perth before the Origin, I sat and watched the Kiwi game against Tonga. He played them on his own. I think he ran for over 400 metres that game. It was like, at that level, on another planet.
I remember you saying on Sunday Footy Show on the weekend that you'd have Joey Manu and Kiri in the halves.
No, that was Freddie.
Oh, that was Freddie. That's right.
And Sam Walker off the bench.
So what would you do?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's a real tough one because he needs to get more touches of the ball. I have no idea what I'd do. It's a really. These are the ones where the coaches. That's why they're under so much pressure because you're going to make those big calls. Looking at Joseph Manu, the way he's playing at number 6, he either stays there or he plays number 1. He's not going to play there with Tedesco. So it's a big call for Trent Robinson.
Big decision to be made. Well, speaking of coaches, Wayne Bennett, he's in.
I just got the where would you?
Oh, where would you rank him?
Well, I got Munster number 1. This is on current. Look, Turbo's out, so Turbo been the top 5 players. Then I got Tedesco number 2. I got Latrell number 3 and Nathan Cleary number 4. So if I had to put Joseph Manu in, I think I would put him in between Teddy and Latrell. So Munster number 1, Tedesco number 2, Joseph Manu number 3, Latrell 4, Nathan 5. Can't believe Nathan.
So you'd say Joey Manu better than Nathan and better than Latrell?
At the moment, on the last couple of weeks, and look, Nathan's been in Bali. But those, and look, there's a split here between them all. Look, I'd probably have Nathan actually. up to number 2. I don't know, but they're the top 5.
Yeah.
You throw them all in: Munster, Tedesco, Nathan, Latrell, and Joseph Manu. Pretty impressive for a bloke that's been playing out of position.
Yeah. Well, speaking of coaches before, Wayne Bennett has announced that he's going to bring on Christian Wolf to the Dolphins. One of those, it's like a similar coaching plan to what the Tigers have done. It's similar sort of what to Wayne did at South Sydney as well.
So Christian Wolf, he's in the UK at the moment, isn't he?
Yes,
So,
yep. So he would come in as
So he's
head
coming
assistant.
over next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when the Dolphins come into the competition. So he'll come under Bennett for the first 2 years and then 2025 take over.
Great apprenticeship to have. Very similar to what South did with Dimitri.
Yep.
So seems like that's the formula teams are going to. And it makes sense. It really makes sense.
Is it a good move for Christian, do you think?
I think so, yeah.
A tough one though, considering it's a new team.
He's only coached lower grades in Australia and coached in Super League. I don't know how much success he's had there, but it's a totally different pressure to being in the NRL where, it's so much scrutiny and pressure on you. So, I think it's a really good move. Good luck to him.
What players do you think in the NRL now would you see going on to be head coaches in the NRL?
Well, the halfbacks, obviously. Daly Cherry Evans, I think, would be a really good coach. Fullbacks also, with Tedesco. I think he sees the game really well. I think Adam Reynolds could be a really good coach.
Yeah, well, that's what.
Nathan Cleary. Nathan's got that temperament, pretty even keeled, like his father. See, there's guys that know the game really well, like Munster, but Munster could never coach because he's
because of
like
what?
myself. That's why I'll never coach. You see how emotional I got after an Origin. I was only watching it because I'm so invested. I love the place.
How do you reckon you'd go if you were coaching?
I wouldn't let myself do it.
No, but like, and after a loss, just in NRL, just at NRL level, not Origin level, and after a loss. What would you? Would you just walk out and say, I'll speak to you tomorrow?
At home the other day, I was watching the Knights play, and the kids had to be taken out because of the sailor talk. And Mrs. like, what are you doing? I'm like, "Ah!" Yeah, never. I haven't got the personality for it.
Yeah.
I know that, and I'm a realist.
Yeah.
And I'm a head coach, so I know that. We all know that.
Assistants?
Tough gig.
Like, do you like doing? I know when you were doing some stuff with the Blues. Did you enjoy that?
I'm doing stuff.
Were you doing stuff with the Knights?
Even though when I'm doing halves now, you're still invested in it to a certain degree because you want them to not only go well, the players to go well, but the club to go well, especially Newcastle, because I love the place. So it's really tough, but compared to how much the NRL coaches, amplified by 100 what I'm going through, I don't know how they do it. Really don't know how they do it.
I'd love to get a heart monitor on them during a game.
I love a camera when they go home after a loss. I'm trying to think of who would be the best one to watch. Who fires right? Oh, Craig Bellamy. Ricky.
Yeah, Des.
You see Des just walking around
Just
the house
pacing.
with the computer, just talking to himself.
He loves his
Do you want
technology.
to see it? Yeah, that'd be a good one. Coach has gone mad at home.
That'd be a good little doco series. We should look into that. All right, let's talk buys of the year. Who do you think in the NRL is some of the best buys of the year so far?
Adam Reynolds, without a doubt.
Yep.
He's turned the Broncos from being outside the 8 to a top 4 team. I think they'll finish in the top 4. And I think in the next couple of years they can really take on the top teams to win a comp. I don't know if they can win it this year. I think they'll be thereabouts, but I don't know if they can win 3 or 4 big games on end. And I don't think any team will beat Penrith. But moving forward with those young forwards, they got Carrigan, Haas, Flegler, all these young guys, and the young guys in the backs. They're still missing Herbie Farnworth, and they're a serious club.
Do you think that bringing Adam Reynolds to the club is going to be the difference for them in winning a premiership?
Yep.
That's that big of a signing?
Yep, without a doubt. Because you go through all the clubs and the lower grades at the moment, that there is no real halfback standing out. That is, you can see, is that 10-year first grade play. Obviously, there's some looks thereabouts, but there's none of those real players where you just go. I remember seeing Sean Johnson in the 20s and went, he will. remember seeing Nathan just went, there's a long-term halfback. But at the moment, I've been going around watching lower grades. There's a couple here and there that I can see potentially have the potential to play, but there's none that really come out and bite you and just go, without a doubt, he's the one. So that's the thing. There's limited halfbacks out. That's why you see Reynolds has gone up there for huge money. Chad Townsend, like he was sort of thereabouts and even playing a bit of lower grades, and they've paid huge money to get him up there. And he's doing a great job. It's just at the moment, there's very limited halfbacks out there. Nico Hines is another one. Cronulla paid big money for him, and he was an untried halfback. He'd only ever played fullback or 5'8". So it just goes to show the halfback stocks, there's not many out there.
What has to be done?
Junior coaching.
coaching.
The two big ones, and the most obvious ones, as I've spoken about in the past, is weight divisions in kids.
Yeah.
Because the kids can't learn their trade because there's fear of getting smashed, and you can't blame them. They're not playing these kids twice their size. Some kids are 3 times the size. So I think it's a conversation we've got to have about weight divisions, because we're not producing halfbacks. They're being terribly overcoached in juniors. Have a look at probably the last 10, 15 years, the only half who's come into the game who can play vision and take risks is Sam Walker. It's because his father and his uncles, not Uncle Chris, but the other uncles, sorry, Texas, have sort of shown him how to play. So, yeah, I think we want to expand the game, but there's less quality players in the comp, and we've got to start at grassroots. So, yeah, it's a conversation I think
that's why junior footy is so important for...
Need more kids playing,
Yeah.
but also more kids staying in the game. And why do you play footy when you play sport when you're young? Because it's fun. You want to play with your friends, and if you're getting smashed,
Not fun.
Yeah.
Fun. All right, just on to the Titans. The CEO of the Gold Coast Titans has come out and publicly backed Justin Holbrook in his coaching position, despite a number of rumours, speculation about him. But what is it that the Titans need to change at the club for them to gain some success?
I have no idea, and I think it's a... If you have a look at the Gold Coast, like I don't know how the AFL team's going.
Gold Coast
They haven't
Suns?
won a comp before, have they? The Gold Coast? Have they
not.
ever...
They're okay.
Oh, they're okay. It just seems like a funny place, the Gold Coast.
What's happened on the Gold Coast?
I don't know. It's just like you have a look at any sporting, what do you say, franchise or sporting teams, nothing has really excelled there. And people can toss up whatever reason.
Too chilled life.
It's a holiday destination. It's a transient place. There's sort of people from here, there, and everywhere moving in and out of the place. I don't know what it is, but I think the Titans. You have a look at their spines. Really inexperienced. Toby Sexton, a halfback, he's only played a handful of games. AJ Brimson's still learning his trade. Preston Jumbo, Jaden Campbell. Exciting young player, very young, and has been busted. And they've got the young Tanner Boyd is now playing 5'8", and he's a dummy half.
Yeah.
So once again, the key positions, there just isn't the amount of talent and depth.
Because they did have Fogarty, and then
he was a big loss.
Yeah.
I think they're probably regretting letting Jamal Fogarty go. He's doing really good things down at the Titans, but just haven't got that experience in the key positions.
And is it because there was a lot of hype? I feel like there was a fair bit of hype around the Titans at the start of the season. Not a like I don't think they
close to the semis.
Yeah,
last
and
year.
I don't feel like many would have predicted them to be in this position.
But
is
those
it
key positions, and they've had.
And does that show an imbalance in potentially salary cap?
They haven't had that, and they've had players being out. Brimson started at 5'8", he went to fullback. I think Aaron Clark maybe? Was it dummy half? He's been in and out. So there's all different combinations going on those key positions. And look, the salary cap, the most players you've got to spend are on your halfback, your 5'8", your fullback and your hooker, all the spine. You can't be paying huge money for four. And nothing. I'm not knocking David Fafita. Good luck to him. The money, and we know how damaging he is. But considering how many touches he has on the ball, the money's got to go into halfback in those key positions. And the salary cap's probably all over the place. hope David Feeder's not watching. I'm not having a shot at you, David.
Well, David Feeder, if you are watching, you can send your questions in next week. We're going to have a bit of a fan question to Joey episode, so you can send.
Do we want a topic or just?
Should we suggest a topic? Should we go Joey's life off the field?
No, it's quite stable. I wish I could have grown up in the 40s and just been like this in the 40s my whole life. I didn't like 20s to 30s was it was good. But
where were your funnest years?
20s to 30s.
20s to 30s were your fun ones?
30 to 40 is a bit destructive. That wasn't real good. Yeah, retirement wasn't good. Anyway, what
about your 18s?
Yeah, they were pretty. Murray, can you censor these questions?
We will.
I could imagine.
Hey,
thank God I'm not on social media. I can imagine the last week I've just been pizzled. Absolutely pizzled.
We will censor them. We'll censor them. Yeah. Do you know what? We should get. That was a. Where did that come from? Reading mean tweets. It was one of those shows in the Jimmy. The Late Show or one of those ones.
Well, they read out mean tweets.
And they read out mean tweets about themselves, and it was very funny. It was very funny.
I would hate to think that Twitter's the evil one, isn't it?
Twitter's a mean place. I'm not very active on Twitter. I don't do anything on there. I just read the news on there. So
you read the news on Twitter?
On Twitter, yeah. It's really good for news because you see stuff happens in real time.
Don't read it out, Murray. He's looking at the tweet. No, I don't want to hear. I don't want to. I just can't believe people they know they're getting absolutely hammered while they sit there and read it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, you wouldn't want to, but so this is the thing. So people can write things about you on Twitter and you won't see it, but sometimes they at you, which means it sends you a notification. So you get a notification, it pops up on your phone. So sometimes you actually can't avoid the mean tweet. I haven't had any mean tweets though, so it's fine.
So hang on. So even if you don't want to look at them, it still shows you. It
still shows you. It comes up. You know a notification on Instagram where it...
Oh, I'd hardly look at it.
Yeah.
My son gets on there.
Can you tell the story about how you found this other folder on Instagram?
Oh, yes. Well, my son gets the Instagram and so if you hammer me on Instagram, it's my 13-year-old son's looking at it. And he goes, you do something here. And
so it's message requests, yeah.
So it's direct message?
DMs, yeah.
He goes, do you know these? I said, no. And he's... What is that? My God.
What was it?
Oh.
Was it a photo?
Something that made me blush. Yes.
Was it?
What is that?
Was it a photo?
Delete.
Female or male?
Oh, I don't know.
All right, don't send photos. Send questions.
And just be nice. I'm not going to read them, so do this.
I'll go through them. All right, well, that is all we have time for this week's episode of Immortal Behaviour. Send your questions in, and we'll get to them next week.
Be nice.